Alrighty, cool. So welcome back. And today is I don't know what annual number it is, but the International Day of Slayer. So happy Slayer Day, everybody.
Yeah.
Quick favorite
Slayer.
Slayer song, go.
Disciples.
Die by the sword.
Behind the Crooked Cross. All right, now that we
Nice.
got that out of the way.
I believe that was in 2006 when that got inundated because it
Oh
was
yeah, cause 666.
6606.
Yeah, I remember that
Oh
now.
yeah.
Hey, it's still going
Yeah.
strong. I'm part of the International Day of Slayer Facebook group, and it's dormant every single year for 364 days. But then on June 6th, it pops up. So whatever, sure.
Yeah. There you
It
go.
works.
Yeah.
All right. So since last time we spoke, want to talk about any sweet shows that you've seen?
I've been to two, I believe.
Hmm.
After we recorded the last one, I went to Pelican at the Triple Rock, one of three Midwest shows. Uh, I had no idea the amount of hipsters that were going to be at this show. I did not think Pelican was a hipster type band. When my girlfriend and I first got there, we were one of the first ones there. And then when I did my Pelican interview, after that I come back, I'm in a sea of flannel and PBR. It,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that said, it was a great show. Pelican put on a great show. It was short though. I mean, it was like roughly about an hour. I think it was like 9 or 10 songs roughly. And they mainly stuck to the last two albums, but it was still a good show. The opening bands were honestly pretty shitty. I actually forgot the names of them, but they were like kind of like hipster indie rock kind of bands opening up for Pelican. It didn't really make too much sense. And then just back on Wednesday, I went to see Red Fang, Big Business, and American Sharks at Mill City Nights in Minneapolis. American Sharks were great. They did not dress up like street sharks, which kind of disappointed me. They are very reminiscent of Torch, without as much of the drone and doom metal kind of sound. I mean, they kind of have like that mid-fast tempo of what Torch has. Big Business, it was the first time I ever saw them. Their drummer absolutely blew me away. He's a left-handed drummer, so it was like, it kind of mind-fucked me watching him play backwards, in my opinion. But they put on a great show. And then Red Fang, despite all the PBR, there wasn't too much flannel out there, and people were actually doing circle pits correctly, which I have not seen at many shows lately, so that was pretty cool to see. And it was my first time seeing Red Fang, and that was a great time. And I think that's about it for shows for me. And Jordan, you got anything?
Yeah. Since last we talked, I saw Death Hammer. The Norwegian duo came through Austin. They were just playing a few dates in the U.S. and Evil Army was originally supposed to be the support, but then they dropped off before they got to Austin, or I don't know if they played any shows or what happened, but a couple locals, but it was a Sunday night show, so the turnout was really low. There were like maybe 20 people there, maybe 30, including the opening bands and their girlfriends. So yeah, it was crazy. So it was a Sunday night, and I mean, Death Hammer didn't go on till probably close to midnight or after midnight. So I guess I can kind of understand why, you know what I mean, like a show like that. But they were awesome. They played a really cool set. They're just a duo on record, but they play with four guys live. And so yeah, that was really cool. Like, blackened thrash, speed metal type stuff. And then I went to the Red Fang show also. I won some tickets through a local blog here. So I hit up the Austin Red Fang show. Yeah, American Sharks is a local band to Austin. I think the Torch comparison is apt. They're kind of like Torch playing like surf rock kind of or something like that. They're a solid band though. I've seen them a few times. They tour with Clutch regularly now, it seems like. Big Business, yeah, Big Business is also really solid. I'd seen them before and I like them. And Red Fang, I don't listen to a lot on record, but every time I've seen them live, they're just a great, good, hard rock band. So yeah, I really dig their riffing and stuff. And their frontman said the Mohawk where they were playing was his favorite venue in the United States of America. So I don't know if he was just blowing smoke up our ass or if he was serious, but yeah, they had a good time. And then on last Wednesday, I saw Pseudo God
Yeah.
all the way from Russia, who are over here for
Very nice.
MDF, of course. So it's Pseudo God with Wrath Prayer from Chile. And then the openers were first opening band was a local band, Morgan Grau. They're like a kind of underground death metal band, like in the vein of Incantation and stuff like that. Diabolical Messiah was another band who was touring with Pseudo God and Wrath Prayer. They're from Chile. And then Sacro Curse from Mexico, another like black and death band. Yeah, the four touring bands had a pretty similar like Black Death kind of sound, but Pseudo God stole the show. They played for 50 minutes, I'd say, and closed with the Antaeus cover that they've been doing lately, Blood War 3, and yeah, dude from Black Witchery on bass. It was a great show. It was really cool seeing them in a small venue at night, with smoke machines going for the whole atmosphere, and yeah, it was awesome. But yeah, those are that's all I've hit up recently.
Okay.
Very nice.
I think the last time.
Yeah, you saw some kind of small show, didn't you?
Well, before I get to that,
Yeah,
I
some
think
like little tiny basement show over
Yeah.
in Maryland or something.
no. Before I get to that, I think the last time we did this, it was before I went to go to Pagan Fest. So I'm put out. I did go to Pagan Fest.
Oh yeah.
I had a pretty good time. I would say honestly, like the main reason I went to it was for Thonic, because it's been a long time since I've seen Thonic, and I didn't really know it like because I don't listen to them regularly. But their more newer stuff is actually really, really solid stuff, especially like their last album. Like after I saw them, I went right ahead and listened to that, and it was really, really good. I was really impressed by them. Varg from
Nice.
Germany, I thought did really good. They're just like this weird smattering of like death metal, thrash metal, some black metal, and even some like metalcore in there, like good metalcore. But I don't know, it was really interesting, but really good. And then Turisas was there, and it was my first time seeing them. And Teresa's was like when I first started getting into metal, like they were one of the bands I listened to, so it was kind of cool to see them finally. I don't know if their last album, like I don't really like their last two albums, but especially not their last album, and that's what they played most of their stuff from. So I was like, oh god, and it really wasn't that
My
great.
girlfriend was the same way.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah, she's not a fan of the last Turisas album.
yeah, but when they did their older stuff, like they did To Homeguard and Beyond, then of course like Battle Metal, like that was really fun. And then I got sick at that show,
And
so I was,
Rasputin.
oh yeah, well Rasputin is fun, but yeah, I got sick at that show, so I was really nervous that I'd be sick for my trip, but I wasn't, and so I went to MDF. It was my second Maryland Death Fest. Let's see. I don't know, like highlights each day. First day Coffins was really good. I was not present for the kid jumping up on stage and getting tackled into Kirk from Crowbar, but it was just kind of weird because I didn't find out about that until a couple days later. Like no one at the festival made a big deal about it at all, but then all of a sudden I'm seeing like all these metal sites talk about it. I'm like, I don't, whatever.
Of course. Yeah.
And I just gotta say it again. Who the fuck crowd surfs at a Crowbar show?
I know. Apparently that was to like one of their
I
slowest
just don't get
songs
it.
or something. I don't know. That venue, like, they really didn't have that many people up front to catch crowd surfers and stuff. I never saw like anybody get dropped or anything, but it's like they could have always used a couple more people up there. But yeah. Other than that, At the Gates was awesome. I'm totally like getting all my days confused. Let me just pull up my sweet program here. I totally forgot who I saw each day. So many bands. Yeah. Oh yeah, on that first day, Cancer, because they were recently reunited. They played as a 3-piece, but they're normally a 4-piece. But I thought they were stupid heavy. Let's see. Oh, Taka from Norway, black metal band. Probably best black metal band I've seen live. He is a really, really good vocalist live, and very menacing and everything like that. So, really good stuff. Just real quick. Oh yeah. So the no-shows this year were Triptychon. They couldn't make it. Aternus, the kind of black and death metal band from Norway. I was really looking forward to them because their last album was really good, but not a big deal, I guess. And then Mitochondrion from Canada, which I'm not really sure why they couldn't make it, because apparently like everything was fine, but at the last second they couldn't make it. I don't know. But
Could have been some personal issues.
I guess I don't. They didn't. MDF didn't really say anything about that. They just said they couldn't make it. But
yeah, I thought they got held up at the border.
yeah, like they were on their way, and like there's this thing came out, like they said they're not even gonna make any money. Like MDF wasn't paying them to play, so like they were coming and playing for free, and that's like that was their thing.
Just to sell merch or something.
I guess, yeah.
Ooh,
And I don't know, because I like Mitochondrion.
They would have sold out of any merch they would have brought.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like
true.
It's like
yeah,
they're not a big band, so I wonder like if MDF does that for a lot of bands, like just for exposure or something. But
I'm assuming they do.
That could be.
I mean, they have to spend so much to be able to get like the one-off shows at MDF that it kind of makes sense that they would have like the smaller bands just play for merch money.
I wonder if that
wouldn't
means like War Master didn't get paid, because War Master had a ton of merch when like at their place, like when on the day they played. So I wonder if like that was saying like, well, that's how we'll make all our money. But
yeah, and they went on a very extensive tour leading up to MDF, so I could see it being like they needed to do that to fund the whole thing. Like they weren't getting flown out there or anything.
Speaking of bands that probably sold out of every single bit of merch they had at MDF, Bolzer played 2 sets, and man, I could see their stuff went super fast. They didn't have.
They have what, 6 songs total in their discography?
They're really good, but yeah, they're
they're awesome,
fast.
but they have a demo and an EP, and that's it. Yeah.
Some other ones that are pretty good. Dark Angel. I actually only saw their first song and then left. From what I saw, they're really good, but and from what I heard from people who stayed, they're really good. But I really didn't want to miss any of the other bands that night, which was
that makes sense.
That night, so I got to see full sets from Hooded Menace, who was really really good, and then Pungent Stench, or kind of Pungent Stench. There's a whole thing going on, but they were actually really really impressive. Like I was almost like they were definitely in like my top 5 bands I saw MDF for sure. But then that night headlined by Asphyx, and Asphyx is the reason I went to MDF this year, and I had unreasonably high expectations and they blew them out of the water. Like it was amazing.
Man,
that's what I've heard from everybody.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
but
I'm so jealous.
Me too.
The last day, big ones for me. Candlemass was amazing. And then, so like I don't really know anything about My Dying Bride. They're kind of one of those bands who their discography is like, where do I even start with them? So I just kind of never really checked them out. But I didn't have anything else going on at that time. So okay, I'll watch some of their set, and they were actually really really good. I'm definitely gonna check them out now. But yeah, really impressed by them too. But yeah, so saw a ton of bands, but those are probably the big standouts for me.
Nice.
I've heard a lot of people say that My Dying Bride was the best band of MDF.
Oh yeah, and I can definitely see that. Like I know people who came up to MDF just to see them. Like they drove into like 10 minutes before their set started. Like I get that.
Yeah, so. Looking online, it looked like there were a lot of like old school metalheads who came just for Sunday, just for My Dying Bride and Candlemass.
Oh, and then one thing I almost forgot, Sark played, or Sarka, which is Nocturnal Culto's band. And he played a Dark Throne cover, so that was pretty cool. I got to see Nocturnal Culto do a Dark Throne cover.
Was there any bands that you were like thought were meh or bad at MDF that you saw?
I know some people who really love them, but I really didn't care for Soylent Green all that much. I thought they were okay when they did their grindcore stuff, but like when they slowed it down for like their southern sludgy stuff, I was just like, eh. I purposely skipped Windhand because I'm like, yeah, I like Windhand, but I don't really. They were the very first band on Sunday, but I was like, I don't need to see them.
Yeah.
And then on the at the place, it was like two main stages, but on like the first main stage, any like war metal or black and death metal band on that stage sounded terrible. I thought if it was on the second stage, because there's a slightly smaller stage, they sounded great. Because Wrath Prayer was on the first stage, and it was just a jumbled up mess of everything. But then like Diocletian and all these other bands are on the second stage, and I thought they sounded great. So it was just like,
yeah,
I don't know. Who at your Pseudo God concert, who headlined?
Yeah. Pseudo God.
Oh, okay. At this one, yes, Pseudo God played the second stage, and right after them, Wrath Prayer played the first stage. So I thought that was kind of...
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I thought Pseudo God was much more impressive than Wrath Prayer. I mean, Wrath Prayer sounded solid for what they do, and they had a couple technical issues, but I thought Pseudo God just blew them away, like as far as atmosphere and everything went.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that was MDF. I have a whole hour-long video talking about it, nerding out about it, but yeah. So some recent news and new releases. Let's start with new releases because I really want to talk about this. Have you guys heard that sweet new Body Count song? No.
The second single?
No, the first one.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Is there a second
the first
one?
Yeah. I thought they released the second one. I know Talk Shit Get Shot got released, and
Such a good
God, that just sounds like Rage Against the Machine with Ice-T rapping over it.
Yeah.
That's what it just sounds like to me.
Yeah, I did. They did that song at Fun Fest last year, so I heard it then, but I haven't heard the actual release of it. Yeah.
The best thing in that whole video was we don't listen to heavy metal. We just listen to Drake.
Drake. Apparently that album got leaked, and like they do a cover of Suicidal Tendencies Institutionalized on it. And it's
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, I read about that.
That's gonna be weird hearing Ice-T talking about Pepsi.
Well,
I mean,
apparently he has
I don't
updated
know.
the lyrics for current day. So like he's talking about getting on his iPhone and stuff.
All I wanted was
Yeah,
an
and I
iPhone, just
think
one
he's talking
iPhone.
about-
Yeah.
Yeah, and resetting his Xbox Live password is part of it. Apparently, you know how he's like a huge gamer. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
he's
don't
got
know.
to do something between tapings of SVUs.
I
so.
guess, yeah.
Right.
I don't know. People I've heard that have downloaded the album say it's like good dumb fun, which like I'm always down for a good dumb fun album, so I might check it out.
I might check it out too. I'm going in with zero expectations, so if they beat anything above that, then I'll be happy with it.
Okay, yeah. And then the next
basically.
New songs that came out, which I haven't really checked out, like the new ones that came out, but apparently new, more Judas Priest songs have been released or previewed or something like that. Have either of you checked those out, like the new ones?
No, I
actually
didn't.
haven't. I'm actually waiting for the album to come in my hands before I listen to it. Because I know the songs will get ruined for me if I just listen to previews of it. I'd rather listen to the full song or the whole album rather than just hear like 30-second clips of a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that first song, I mean, I dug it, but just the production was really bad. I don't want another crappy, like, rip for a preview. Like, I guess I might wait until the album comes out, too, to check it out.
Yeah, it's Judas Priest.
I
I mean,
agree.
you don't want to listen to it at really shitty YouTube quality. I mean, you want to listen to it like at full volume, full production scale.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this next song that came out, it's one of my friends who is definitely not into metal at all. Like, he came to me specifically to ask about it, which was the new Wolves in the Throne Room track that came out.
Oh, yes.
So, Wolves in the Throne Room, you know, kind of one of those big atmospheric black metal bands a couple years ago, kind of the precursor to stuff like Death Heaven, whatever. Now they have their new album is all synths and atmosphere. I don't think there's even guitars in it.
Nope.
Okay, so it's just
Mhm.
synths, no drums, no vocals. I listened to
Right.
it, and like I was really excited to hear what they were gonna do after after Sunbather came out, because I'm like I would love to hear their answer to that. But then this came out, and I said like I can dig atmospheric stuff and synth stuff, but I just was not feeling this track at all.
Well, I kind of went in with the expectation just like you. It's like I was just figuring what they're going to be doing, kind of like their answered Sunbather. But it's just like I listened to it, it's like, oh, sweet, this is like a cool synthy intro. Where are they going to go from here? Okay, it's building up, it's building up. All right, why isn't there any
Yeah.
guitars? Why isn't there any drums? Where's the vocals? And then it just went away.
Mm.
And then I looked it up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, they're doing the Burzum album. Okay, I guess I really don't care.
Yeah, basically. I I think this could have been like an EP or something not even released under the Wolves in the Throne Room name. But yeah, I mean, I think they've got some great material in the past. So I'll be interested to see when they get back to playing actual like songs.
Yeah, and
I like the atmospheric stuff too, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
anything other than interludes, it's like a whole record of it. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's music you fall asleep
I'll
to,
use it.
really.
Yeah, I'll set up a haunted house in my garage, and that'll be the soundtrack. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do with that?
Well, the thing
I'll stick to Phantom Moss for my Halloween soundtrack.
the thing my friend came to me and asked was like, do you think this is like a one-time fluke change of direction for Wolves of the Throne Room, or do you think this is what they're going to go forward with from now on? And like, I could see them wanting to do that, but I don't think they're gonna. I think the next thing they put out is gonna go back to their black metal.
Oh, it absolutely is. I think there's going to be like such
I
a
think so.
backlash that only like the hardcore Wolves and Throne Room fans are going to be excited to hear ambient music. The rest of the fans are going to be like, bring back your black metal shit because I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah. Because didn't they also specifically say this was like a companion piece to the last record where... I don't know. I thought I saw a statement of some sort where it's like, this is kind of like, yeah, just a companion piece, as much, like not as much of like a new direction or anything like that.
Is this an album
Maybe
or
I'm
an
wrong.
EP?
It could be. It's an album.
I think it's an album, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a full album.
Well, yeah, hopefully they go back because not and kind of on that same thing, apparently Burzum put out a new album on Tuesday, and he is now
Yeah.
doing synth stuff again, and like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. It's
Oh,
boring.
yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem with that if there's like some dynamics to it and stuff like that. But when it's just like it's so level and flat and everything, it's so boring to listen to. Besides one track,
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
then,
and
it's hard to do.
have you seen the album art on that new Burzum? Check out the cute little border on it. He's very creative. It's very artsy.
Well,
You'll just have to check it out.
I'm gonna look it
has
up
a very
right now.
distinct,
I am too.
It's
all
he's
I
so
know is-
creative. He put a cute little border on it that no one will ever notice.
Are you for real? Oh my god.
Yeah, The Ways of Yore is the name of the record.
That's amazing. I didn't
And
even
so, yeah,
notice
the-
that at first.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
That says it
Well-
all. That really says it all.
Was
yeah,
when he
it's Burzum.
when he first came back, didn't he like want to call his album like Praise to the White God or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God.
And some of the stuff he wrote in prison was like, yeah, along those lines.
So this marks
How did you notice that right away? I mean, did you notice that right away, or?
I saw it called out on another forum.
so in 4 years, this is his 6th album. That's basically my main complaint with Burton nowadays is I think he needs to step back and get really inspired and write a good black metal album again. Because in my opinion, when his first album when he came back, Bellis, was amazing, really awesome. And I'm like, it's almost like he was put in this like void, so in prison that he's like he is not exposed to any other kind of metal, like what's going on in the metal world. So it's almost like we're getting legit 90s black metal in today's
Mm-hmm.
time. And then Fallen came out, so like, okay, yeah, Fallen's pretty cool too. Again, kind of like I was almost like maybe it's like Bella's Part 2, which I'm okay with. But then he kept going, and it's just like I don't know. It's all of this stuff seems really uninspired now. So
Well, isn't he in
Yeah.
court right now in France for like inciting hate riots or something like that?
Yeah, he is.
I think him and his wife were arrested a while ago for like stockpiling weapons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now the trial against him is going on now
Jeez.
Right.
in France. Yeah.
Well,
So basically, the French authorities said that he had a lot of blog posts that were, anti-Semitic and inciting racial hatred and
God.
whatnot. And then, so his basic defense now, which is kind of funny because up until this point, he's been very like arrogant about all his views and everything, But his defense in the court now, as far as what I've been reading, is that I didn't write those things. Anyone could put up a blog and say I'm Varg Vikernes, and he's just saying like I didn't write those things. Where like if you're so like into your ideals or whatever, and
Yeah.
you're putting fucking swastikas on the border of your record, like it's like I don't know. You would think he'd be like, yeah, like I didn't do anything wrong, but to just deny it, like it seems like the biggest pussy thing.
God.
Well, Jackson, I think you might be able to get your Burson might get his inspiration back now since he's going to be going back to prison.
Yeah.
So he might get his inspiration back because he can't release any albums.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'll probably check out the album to see if it's anything like his other prison albums, but I'm not expecting.
Right.
And then the last thing I thought was kind of cool, which was a couple days ago, Adult Swim is going to start up their new singles program, which they release like every week.
That's right.
A new song by a band. And the ones that stood out to me is that I think in July is new Deaf Heaven. And then some other, I think maybe in August is a new Sleep song. So we are getting new Sleep soon. But yeah, are you expecting anything from either of those?
Yeah, I think those should be solid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think it'd be hilarious if Sleep released like a 2-minute song or something and just fucked with everyone. But
just one
yeah, those should both be good. Yeah.
Well, I know like a couple, maybe last year or maybe 2 years ago on the Adult Swim thing, they had like Mastodon and High on Fire, whereas they were like metal ones.
Yeah.
And those are really good songs, so I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely released a track. Adult Swim.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, new Death Heaven, new Mastodon, new Sleep. You can't go wrong there.
And then
definitely.
This kind of reminds me like of people who are saying like, bands selling out and like going to Scion and all this stuff or whatever. But it just reminds me of like something I think Scott Hull from Pig Destroyer said it. He's like, we're not against corporate branding, but we're only gonna do corporate branding of stuff we actually use. So it's like, yeah, I wonder how many like metal bands chill out at night and just watch Adult Swim. So like, of course they're gonna go to Adult Swim to release their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I see that as more of like they're creatively in line with each other. You know what I mean? It's more than like just a corporate thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like the guys who make those cartoons are probably like metalheads. And, obviously like Death Clock and stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, how else are they going to hear about like Death Heaven and Sleep unless they're metal fans?
For sure.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Was there anything else that came out recently that think of?
Well, on my end, there was 2 new Opeth songs that came out.
Oh yeah.
Much better than Heritage. They actually have some dynamics, and they actually sound kind of like rock and metal songs again, instead of just the 70s prog fusion that was going on in Heritage. So I advise checking those out. One's just released on YouTube, and then the other one, Cusp Eternity, is actually their single. So that's definitely some stuff worth checking out. Like I said, much better than Heritage. Now I actually liked Heritage, but it's a lot better.
Is it is there any harsh vocals?
There is not, but it's a lot heavier. Like they brought back the distortion on the guitars, and there's like some metal sections again.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not like the death metal stuff again, but it's much heavier. And you know, I could even see by the time of the next album, there might be some death metal elements maybe again.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that. Nice.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Another thing too that kind of got me wondering was all this talk of Acid Bath trying to get back together, which seems kind of odd to me because, you know, like Goatwhore is going stronger than ever. I'm not sure why Sammy would want to stop Goatwhore to get Acid Bath back together, but I'd like to see it. I think people are going overboard on the... I was going to say, people are getting a bit overboard on the whole Corey Taylor thing. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, if there was anyone that could replicate kind of what Dax did, I could see like Corey Taylor with like the soothing stuff, the soothing kind of vocals that Dax did, but there's no way he could pull off everything that Dax did. But that said, if Dax isn't part of it, they would have to get one hell of a fucking singer for me to really want to go out and support Acid Bath. Otherwise, I could just see it failing.
Yeah. What I was gonna say about Goatwhore going strong right now and everything, the only thing I can think is maybe with, you know, just this post MDF Soylent Green thing, maybe Ben's talking about going back in studio with Soylent Green, so Sammy's like, I could go do Acid Bath in the meantime, and they could go off and do things. I don't know, just a thought. But yeah, it does seem odd with like the new Goatwhore record right around the corner.
Yeah. Because I want them to be able to tour behind the new album besides Summer Slaughter, you know, like a bigger slot, you know, where you're not opening for Thy Artist Murder.
Yeah, even Goatwhore headliner, I think they're due for one in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few years. I mean, I think the last one was Goatwhore Hate Eternal, wasn't it? Like 3-4 years ago?
I'm pretty sure that was their last headliner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never listened to Acid Bath.
One more I wanted to mention. Oh yeah. Acid Bath is good stuff. It's good Southern metal.
Okay.
It's not like Pantera or anything like that, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
One more thing I wanted to mention again, since I just see it get updated again. I don't think we talked about it. Was Machine Head, Children of Bodom, Epica Battlecross tour in the making. Want to see what your guys' opinion on that was.
When those dates were first getting announced, like the venue here announced it, it said Machine, and I think this is like, Machine Head, and it was just Machine Head, so it might have even been before they announced the rest of that tour package. But now that is just gone. Like, I don't know what happened to it. They're not even acknowledging it anymore. So, and have they announced dates for that tour, like the whole package tour?
Not yet. I just see the one for the Milwaukee show at the Rave is still there. But I see it just got updated that, you know, like a big Wolverine Kills rumor that there's a metal festival going on that they couldn't book Battlecross for because they're going on tour with Machine Head. So I'm assuming at least those two bands are still touring together.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder.
That makes sense.
If we are still getting a show, but they just can't really like announce it yet. I'd be okay with I like the middle two bands a whole lot, so
yeah. My thoughts was that because Battlecross is still on tour, that they can't announce the Machine Head tour. That's what my thinking is, because I know there's like some legislation where you can't do that, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but
that would make sense though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that, like a fitting tour though. Those bands I think would work well together. As much as some people think it's like a weird lineup, I don't know. I see them working.
I mean, Epica does seem like the redheaded stepchild of the tour, but it makes sense for them to go on tour with Children of Bodom. Battlecross kind of makes sense. I mean, Machine Head and Epica doesn't really work that much together, but the whole tour kind of makes sense.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Let me just put something out there real quick. I think Machine Head, maybe not Machine Head, but definitely Robb Flynn, biggest trend hopping poser in metal history. Like, if you just go through Machine Head's discography, like, you just see him jump from trend to trend. And that's really saying something when I say, like, my favorite song. Like, I'm not lying at all. This is 100% serious. My favorite Machine Head song is, like, one of their new metal songs. Like, they just... I think they did new metal the best out of all the stuff they are, but I'm just like, whatever. And so, like, I'm not that stoked to see Machine Head, but, like, I'll see Children. Sure, they're always fun.
Yeah, I used to like Machine Head a lot in high school, but they're one that they're so wishy-washy. I agree, definitely, and yeah, Rob should have just stayed in Violence and never started Machine Head.
Yeah.
I wish Violence would go back on tour, but I know that's not going to happen.
No.
No. One other quick thing.
It's kind of sad when you can say Machine Head is the cash cow of the two.
Oh my god, yeah.
yeah, totally.
Josh, one thing that I think you should be happy about is that King Crimson is reuniting in shows.
Oh, absolutely. I know not many like real metal fans are into them, but I mean if you're into like progressive rock and progressive metal, King Crimson is the fucking shit. I mean, they started like the heavier side of progressive metal all the way back in the 60s with In the Court of the Crimson King. I hate that the tickets are as expensive as they're going to be. I know I've seen them like go all the way up to $200 depending on the venue, but again, it's probably going to be the last King Crimson tour considering how old everybody sans Gavin Harrison and Porcupine Tree is. So I could see it being like one of the last tours. So I got a lot of friends who want to go with me to Madison, Wisconsin for that show. So I'm definitely going to try to make it out in September. Maybe get an interview.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys have any thoughts on King Crimson?
I'm just like a mild King Crimson fan. I'm not like too intimately into them, but yeah. So I can't justify the ticket price. But if they were on like a festival, I would go in a heartbeat. You know, I would love to see them. Like to just have seen them for sure. But yeah. What about you, Jackson?
As far as for King Crimson, I really haven't gotten into them a bunch, and I swear it's not because of the Kanye West song, but a while back ago, like when I was discovering stuff, that song, 21st Century Schizoid Man, I'm like, that's a really good song, and so I haven't checked out that whole album yet, but I know that people and certain anonymous image boards on the internet really, really like In the Court of the Crimson King. And
no, wait, before you continue on.
Yeah.
Did you just say Kanye West covered 21st Century Schizoid Man?
No, the song Power. It has a thing from 21st Century Schizoid Man.
The sample.
Yeah, it goes 21st.
I quit.
Yeah. if it
he also ruined Daft Punk, so if it's any consolation.
I could have went my whole life without knowing that and would have been so much happier.
they're like, I really, when it comes to like progressive rock and progressive metal, I really like super, super long songs, which is kind of why I want to get into, like, I know Emerson, Lake and Palmer have really long songs like that, and I'm assuming King Crimson, and so I'll probably get into King Crimson not too long.
Just listen to anything with an H.R. Geiger cover.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. You do that and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, one more tour that just got announced today. I'm not sure if there's any like official reports on it, but I just saw it on the site. Dark Tranquillity and Insomnium, the first tour of 2015. That's going to be hitting up the Trip Rock in Minneapolis, so I'll definitely be hitting that up. That's going to be a great tour.
It seems to me that Dark Tranquillity announces tours like super far in advance. Because it seems like their last
I think they
US
have to because they still have day jobs, so they have to like go out that far in advance to get off their jobs. That's what I'm assuming.
That makes sense.
Did they not tour with Insomnium on their last US tour?
No. It was Omnium Gatherum.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a similar name.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that was back in February.
Mm-hmm.
No, the last time Insomnium was in town was with Epica. It was Epica, Ailstorm, Insomnium, System Divide, and what was supposed to be Destiny Potato, but they dropped off. I can't imagine why with a name like Destiny Potato they had to drop off a tour.
Man.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Yes, female gent.
Oh, great.
Destiny Potato.
Oh man. Wow.
uh,
Well, then there's that sweet bolt thrower tour, but we don't live in Germany.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks for getting our hopes up, Jackson. Oh my god, bolt thrower Morka! Oh, you
Yep.
fucking asshole.
Well,
You're
yeah,
a-
no, you know, it's a tour. It's a tour that needs reporting
It
on.
is a
It is a tour.
tour.
Certainly a tour.
Okay, and then I guess the last thing that I had to talk about, which Jordan and I were sort of talking about before we started, single tier for you because you're moving, but Fun Fest got announced for Austin.
Yep.
Jordan,
Oh, yes.
since I know you've been to a couple of them, you wanna talk about some of the past ones in this one?
Wait, before you start,
Sure.
I had no idea
Yeah,
you
yeah.
were moving. Where are you moving to?
Yeah, I'm moving back to Michigan, so I'm gonna be
Oh,
you're gonna be a little
back
closer
up
to
in
me
your
then.
neck of the woods. Yeah, right around there. Yeah, Tigers, Lions, and Bears. Oh, Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Fun Fest is a multi-day music festival held in the city of Austin, Texas.
Are you reading
every
Wikipedia?
November. No, it sounds like it though, doesn't it? So they usually break it down. There's an orange stage, which is like your indie rock bands, kind of, I guess you would say. A yellow
they're the main
stage, which
stage,
is
right?
comedy. Yeah, the orange stage is the main stage, like the indie rock.
Yeah, that's
stage
what I
or
figured.
whatever. It's the big one. But then, like big acts, when Slayer plays, like they would be on the black stage, but then they put them on the orange stage because that's the huge stage.
Yeah.
So the black stage is punk and metal. The blue stage is hip hop, electronica. The yellow stage is comedy, and the orange is indie rock, whatever bullshit. And then they always have like a half pipe and stuff where there's BMX bikers
Yeah.
and skateboarders and stuff. So it's pretty rad.
Yeah.
And that's always by the black stage because it's so punk. But yeah, so past years they've had I've seen a lot of killer bands at Fun. It's been my favorite festival since I moved to Austin. I've seen Mastodon, Floor, Guar, Bad Religion, Kylesa, Cannibal Corpse, I Hate God. This is all over the course of multiple years. They get killer hip hop every year. Public Enemy. Last year they had Jurassic 5, Deltron 3030. The list goes on and on. They had Snoop Dogg last year, and always great comedy and stuff. But this year, the year I'm moving out of Austin, of course, they get the epic King Diamond, who's a Texas local, I guess. He lives in Dallas now. But yeah, King Diamond headlining the black stage, who I'm sure will be the orange stage.
Yeah.
And Judas Priest, who I wonder if they'll keep Judas Priest on the black stage, or there'll probably be enough people interested in Priest that they'll put them on the orange too.
They'll be on the
But
orange
yeah,
stage.
Amon
They
Amarth's
gotta
playing
be.
this year. Yeah, I would think so. Amon Amarth this year, Death Heaven, tons of killer bands. They always get some good punk, reunion type stuff.
Yeah, I was
don't
looking.
recall
They're
what
getting
punk bands are
Gorilla
on this
Biscuits,
year.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
there you go. They always get at least one old school punk band. Like last year, they had Descendants and Flag, and that was pretty awesome. But yeah, it's such a killer fest. It's so much fun. It's really well organized. It's like the redheaded stepchild of ACL, and it's so much less of a shit show than ACL, and it's in a better location. And yeah, everything about Fun is really rad. The way they set it up, it's awesome.
Very nice.
So if you want to go to Austin for a festival, now that Chaos and Taya is no more, I would heavily consider Fun Fest.
It would be fun.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I'm actually.
And speaking of I was gonna say, and speaking of the punk stuff, I think we forgot to mention the Offspring and Bad Religion this fall.
Has that been announced?
Yeah, I mean it's got full tour dates and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah. The closest that's coming by me is I think Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's not coming here, but I've seen the Offspring once and they're really fun. So I definitely like to see it. And Bad Religion, I think you should see him at least once. So if it was coming here, I'd probably go.
Yeah, I've seen them a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one tour that I would love to be able to go to Milwaukee for, because I've never seen Bad Religion. My girlfriend got to see him, but I never got to see him. So I'm hoping one day I'd be able to. And Offspring, I mean, playing their best album, I mean, why not?
Yeah, that'd definitely be worth it.
I was just gonna say real quick, I'm on Fun Fun's website, and when you go to their lineup and it shows everybody in order from like top to bottom, the number one top band is Judas Priest. So I'm wondering.
Nice.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, they'll be on the Orange stage then.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Is it sponsored by Orange Amps by chance, or is it just the color?
No, unfortunately. That'd be pretty rad.
All right. I think that's all I had to talk about. Upcoming shows, coming up pretty soon for you guys. Any good?
For me on Monday, I'm kind of deciding if I'm going, since I haven't heard back from interviews. The America Fuck Yeah tour with Doc Fashion Disco and Psycho Stick and the Money in the Bear. But I love Doc Fashion Disco because Mr. Bungle isn't touring. I want to see Mr. Bungle Light, known as Doc Fashion Disco. And Psycho Stick always puts on a fun show. Even if you don't like the music, they put on a fun show. Not this Wednesday, but the next Wednesday is the opening date for Egglock at the Triple Rock. They're starting the tour off here in Minnesota. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then the Monday after that is it's Deaf Heaven at the Triple Rock and Yngwie Malmsteen at the Skyway Theater. And my girlfriend loves Yngwie, so you can guess which one I'm going to. Well, they're not too far away. I mean, I would say they're like a mile or two away from each other. So I'd love to be able to hit up both, but I'll most likely be at Yngwie. And considering Deaf Heaven already sold out at the Triple Rock, I'm pretty sure they're going to be back in the fall. I mean, if they're doing Fun Fest, I'm assuming they're going to be doing a fall tour as well.
I would think.
Yeah. But that's all I can think of until we do the next show. Jordan?
Municipal Waste is playing here tonight with Power Trip.
Nice.
I think it's just a one-off show because it's a Red Bull Sound Select show or whatever, where you had to RSVP with Facebook, and then tickets are $3 at the door. I don't think I'm going to go, though. So I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but I thought it was interesting to note, just because Municipal Waste isn't touring at all, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next thing I have tickets for is not really metal, but I'm going to see Negative Land, if you know who they are.
I've heard the name.
Because they never play live shows. They do fucked up experimental music, and they sample all kinds of stuff. They've been sued by U2 and and Dick Clark and everyone under the sun for sampling all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah,
and
that's what
they're
I've heard
real
of them before.
subversive.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had this song called Christianity is Stupid back in the 80s, and they got in all kinds of trouble for it. And yeah.
I remember.
And they did this whole takeoff. Yeah, they did this Pepsi record that was sampling when Michael Jackson was this Pepsi sponsor in the 80s, and they fucked with all this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to see those guys, and that's in 2 weeks. So and then the week after that is Deaf Heaven here, but we'll probably do another episode before that. So yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Jackson?
Yeah.
For me tonight is in Kansas City there's a free Real Big Fish show, which would be awesome, but it's probably gonna be super sold out. Well, super reach capacity really early, so I'm probably not gonna make that.
Yeah.
But also is Castle, which is the female fronted kind of newer doom band. I'm still on the fence about that. I don't know, I checked them out.
Have you heard the new album?
I was listening to some YouTube tracks from them, and then the tracks I heard were from the new album, and it's all right. So I'm still kind of on the fence. I might check them out.
Okay.
They're a decent live act if you've never seen them before. They're no Royal Thunder and they're no Mount Salem, but they're okay.
Okay, yeah. I might check them out. And then on the 11th is Black Tide is playing, but opening for them is Threat Signal and
Hatchet.
Hatchet. Yeah, which
Uh,
I saw Threat Signal open for someone. I can't even remember, but they surprised. I thought they were okay, so I dig seeing them again. I mean, I really like Hatchet. I've seen them before, so that'd be
Hatchet,
cool.
yeah.
So
but didn't Black Tide turn into like a Taking Back Sunday kind of band?
no, I thought they're like Black Veil Brides now or something stupid like that. They're like terrible now.
Do they have eyeliner?
They might, honestly.
I'm
I
pretty sure
think
they
that was the
work
whole big
eyeliner.
thing. It's like they went from like ripping off Iron Maiden to like ripping off Black Veil Brides. Okay.
Well, you were talking
I can
about
see
Rob
that.
Flynn being like the biggest trend runner.
Seriously.
I think Black Tide has got to be somewhere in the top 5.
I would not doubt it. And then other than that, yeah, I have Deaf Heaven later in the month, but we'll probably talk before that. So yeah, I'm okay
Alright,
with having
one last question
Oh, yeah?
before we go.
Yeah,
Municipal Waste or Iron Reagan?
Iron Reagan.
What are we talking about here? Like live?
Who's
or-
better? Who do you prefer?
Okay, I've seen
Iron Reagan.
I've seen Municipal Waste live once, but it was on that Lamb of God tour, so they're like the second band. It was a huge venue and no one dug them. And then I don't know. This is a tough question. Iron Reagan was a really fun show that I saw. I'll say Iron Reagan. Yeah.
I gotta say Iron Reagan as well. As much as I love Municipal Waste, Iron Reagan has the best fucking band name going right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like kind of. I kind of see what's happening to Municipal Waste, like what happened to Impaled, because now Ghoul is just like taking off. They're astronomical. Impaled is like only just now starting to try kind of do stuff again. I kind of see that happening with Municipal Waste and Iron Reagan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
and speaking of Impaled, I get very confused every time I hear their name because there's the local 80s kind of like shock rock band that the PMRC was up in arms about in the 80s called Impaler
Not
from
that
the Twin
Right.
Cities, and I hear their name all the time, and they
Yeah,
always
yeah.
tour around Halloween and stuff, so every time I hear Impaled, I think of Impaler,
Oh yeah.
and I know they sound nothing alike.
God, Impaled.
Yeah. We had a show here in Texas last year where Embalmed and Embalmer played together.
Oh, and,
So,
and also,
yeah.
just like that too, there's a Twin Cities band called Enabler, and then there's the
Oh,
Milwaukee band Enabler that's
Yeah.
going on tour with I Hate God and Ringworm.
Yeah.
So it's like, they actually did shows together all the time. They would like double bill it. It's like, Enabler featuring Enabler.
Yeah. I mean, just recently, when Sleep was announcing those shows, there's like some underground rapper named Sleep.
Oh,
Like they get confused.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And then
Yeah.
there's a local band here. They're like a country band called Vector, VCTOR, and like they'd pop up
Oh,
every so
nice.
often on like the Bands in Town app, and I would have people text me like, "Vector's
You're
gonna
like,
be playing."
"Oh."
I'm like, "No, they're not. No, they're not."
no.
And speaking of that, what the fuck happened to Vector? I mean, they put out such a great album, and then like they toured a little bit, and then they just went away.
I mean, that's kind of how Vector's always been, I would say. But
But I thought they moved from like Arizona to a bigger city to
they're
like
they're in
Yeah, to be able to
more
tour
in the
more.
metal scene or something.
Yeah, they're in Pittsburgh
Yeah.
right now. When I remember I was talking to them after their last show, and they said, what they're doing is they're re-recording the first album, and then they're doing an album of covers. So like, and that was
So wait, they're going to be doing a third version of Touch Instructional Minds
wait.
because that's
No,
on the
no,
first
no.
album, isn't
What
it?
it was
Yeah.
no. What it was on their next album. They're re-recording all the songs on their first album that haven't been re-recorded yet. That's gonna be like half of
Oh,
the new
okay.
album. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I was going to say a third version of
okay.
Touch Instructional Minds. I mean, can they play it even faster?
Yeah, right.
Because like when you listen to the first version of
Yeah.
Touch Instructional Minds, I mean, it's like it's so slow.
Yeah.
and then when you listen to the new version, it's like it's hyperspeed.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully they come back soon. They're awesome.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
need to see
gotten to
them
see
live
them.
again. Oh, they're awesome. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't even think they've toured within like 8 hours of here. So I mean, I'm really hoping for a show.
Yeah.
Well, any last things we need to get in?
don't
One
think
last
so.
thing, I just want to bring this up to kind of bring things on a down note. Although I think Jackson, I think you might appreciate this. How do you feel about the A Day to Remember Bring Me the Horizon tour?
Because I know a lot of people, because I like pop punk. They're like, oh, you would really like A Day to Remember. But like the thing about pop punk, I really don't like heavy pop punk. Like there's a lot of pop punk bands that have like breakdowns and stuff. I'm just like, no, I don't like heavy pop punk at all. So I don't really like A Day to Remember that much. And they're not even like full on pop punk. Like they're pop punk and then like metalcore, deathcore, whatever. Like nah.
Right.
And then Chiodos is god awful.
Chodes.
If
I've
I-
always called them chodes for a reason.
And I didn't know this, but apparently A Day to Remember is like astronomically more popular than Bring Me the Horizon, which I had no idea.
I thought it was the other way around.
think in the
though. I mean, like,
US,
Bring Me the Horizon was like playing like a huge venue here in the Twin Cities. Like they were playing
Yeah.
this venue called Mill City Nights, and then it got moved to this huge venue called the Myth, which is like double the size. So I
Yeah.
figured that they were like getting like a huge thing going on now.
Yeah, they sold out a venue here that is like, who did I say, like a venue that Motorhead and Clutch played for a radio show, so tickets were $10. Bring Me the Horizon sold out like that same venue. Like it's a huge venue, so I'm like, there's no way that Day to Remember. But apparently, like with A Day to Remember's not on a record label, and they sold almost 100,000 copies of their last album like in one. So
Wow.
Oh wow.
yeah, whatever.
Well, like I said
Good
about
for them.
Bring Me the Horizon, when I saw him on the Golden Gods Awards, it was pretty much like the worst 12 fucking minutes of pop punk metalcore I've ever heard. So
if I can get a Bring Me the Horizon off date, sure, I'll go.
Yeah, there you go.
oh, okay, one final thing because I don't want to end it on that. Barbecue.
Mm.
And considering that war might be going on, what's your guys' opinions on how that's going to go? Do you think they're going to be getting like a new singer, or are they just going to continue on as themselves, or what do you think's going to happen with Gore?
I think they could definitely get someone else to play Odorous, because I mean, he made statements before he died and stuff that he could see Guar going on in the future with other people taking over the roles like Kiss style. You know what I mean? Where they don't have they still play the character, like different people play the characters and whatnot. So I could definitely see like Randy Blythe or something going on tour as Odorous.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah.
I think it would,
I'd be okay with it.
yeah. I was just say I would think it would be really fun if like at Barbecue and then like they're playing some other big festivals or something, or maybe for even one tour, it's like they do kind of a Death to All thing where or like the when Mitch Lucker died, it's like the band will play, but then they have a different guy come out every song. I think that would be kind of fun because yeah, I've heard like Randy Blythe, and then I'm sure like some of the bands on Barbecue, I'd love to see Ice-T do. But
yeah. And then they could kill each guest singer as they go on stage.
that would be great.
Yeah, that would be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And now that it's stuck in my head, I want to see Ice-T doing a cover of Maggots now.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think that could really fit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Yeah, I had other ideas, but I think Jackson, I think you win. I mean, that would be so fucking sweet to see something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty rad. I'd go to that tour.
Oh yeah, that would sell out every venue that they play.
For sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, I guess we'll end it on that. So until next time.
All right.
Good.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.